Greetings and welcome to the Alonzo Bash podcast. I'm your host, Alonzo Bash, and welcome today's special guest. She's an educator, an entrepreneur, an author, a mother of two, and a grandkids of, or should I say, a grandmother of six. We best know her as the Lady of Soca. Without further ado, Miss Elizabeth Montano. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year, Alfonso.
Happy New Year. Happy 25. As we say back in Trinidad, where did New Year's catch you?
In my bed,
Eh?
relaxing.
Nice. First question first. A viewer or a listener wanted me to ask you, how's the bike riding come along? Have you mastered the art yet?
No. I can ride very well.
Uh,
I'm small, but as I got older,
yeah.
my legs got older too. So
Mm.
I training, doing some strength training. So when I finish with that, I'm gonna come back and show them
Ah,
the progress.
nice. I'm looking forward. All right, Miss Montano, let's get into it. So, you were born and raised in Caranage, Trinidad. Am I correct?
Yes,
Mm.
on the Northwest Peninsula.
Yes. Northwest Peninsula, western side of Trinity.
Yeah.
What was it like as a young lady growing up in Caranage in those early days?
Well exciting, you
Eh,
know. Um, we live very close to the beach.
yes.
So my sister and I had a lot of friends from the
Mhm.
village, and we spent a lot of our days at the beach.
Yeah.
And then I went to school in Woodbrook. I
Hmm.
went to school in St. Crispin's, EC. That was exciting. I had some real great days as a young person. And then I went to St. James Sec.
Okay.
Um, and that was another great experience.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we didn't have enough money, we used to have to walk home. So we walk
Wow.
in from Woodbrook to Caranage and all the
Yeah.
friends and thing. And yeah, we had real exciting times. And I lived with my mother, grandmother, and sister. And it
Mm.
was it was very adventurous. And I had a good childhood, great childhood.
Nice. You mentioned your mom. How many siblings altogether? All sisters, or you had brothers as well?
My mother had two kids, my
Two kids.
sister and myself. We were both born on the 4th of November, 2 years apart.
Okay. Nice. I understand your mom was a seamstress, if I stand to be corrected.
Yes, she was.
Mm.
And she worked right where we were in Caranage, where they have Chagaramas, where the
Yeah.
naval base was.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sewed for the Americans there in the 50s, 60s, 70s.
Yeah. I spent some time close to that area in Tetron. I was in cadets for
Right, right.
20 years,
Right.
so I'm a
That
little
is a
familiar.
little further down.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where the army is, yeah.
Okay. Nice. So you moved to Superior. How old were you back then when you moved to Superior?
Superior was late in my life,
Late in your life.
because
Okay.
I lived Caranage, and after that I lived in Jamaica because
Okay.
my husband and I went to study. I went to study education, a degree in education, and my husband a degree in geology. And
Yeah.
then we took our kids. Our kids were young. Machel was 2 and Marcus was 4. And we
Wow.
lived there for 3 years. And then we came back and went back to Caranage.
Okay.
Then we moved from Caranage to La Romaine, and
Mm.
then from La Romaine to Superior. We
Oh,
went to Superior in 1980, and
mm.
Michelle's music career
Right.
started in 1982.
Okay. Nice.
So
Nice.
we migrated to Superior,
Yeah.
and I was an adult, full adult.
A lot of moving around.
Yes,
Also, congratulations on your masters as well. I know you got your masters back in 2018.
yes.
So that's a big accomplishment. Very very
At
inspiring to
68,
say.
at 68.
68. See, I don't want to call the age of them, but okay, fair
No,
enough.
no, because um, I had a very academic life.
Yes.
I love studying. So I did first a certificate, then I did a degree, and then
Mm.
I did a postgraduate diploma,
Wow.
and then I went on to my master's. And
Mm.
after my master's, I was contemplating the
Yeah.
PhD, but then I said no, and I adapted my thesis into the book King of Soca.
Yes.
That was launched in 2022. So my whole journey was spent studying.
Yeah. Wow. Very impressive. So we're gonna get into all of that. We're gonna get into all of that. We're gonna to all the meaty gritty. Um So, one thing I've noticed, you've been married for a long time. I think, according to my calculations, 52 years.
Yes,
Wow,
and still going strong.
still
My
going strong.
husband isn't as forward as me, but
Yeah.
he's there, and we are preparing our children and grandchildren legacy, and
Mm.
we're doing that together.
Your family has been very, very, been in the public space, I would say, for pretty much, of course, Marshall, adult life, his brother as well, Marcus, of course, yourself and your husband. As far as marriage is concerned, what was some of the what would you say were some of the challenges or some of the things that advice you can give folks? Because 52 years is a long time.
Long time.
Yeah. So what are the things? So I guess it's a two-part question. So let's start with this. What would you say is the glue that kept you guys together for so long?
We had the same, we shared the same values. One, we shared the same interests. In
Mm,
addition to that, we had our children very young,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
we spent a lot of time building our family and supporting our kids and the kids in the neighborhood. So we were busy doing other things rather than concentrating on ourselves as individuals. But
Mm,
every relationship and everything that you have, it's not always a straight road.
yeah.
But Monty and I were always and have always been supportive of each other and working hard to make sure that our children made a difference in society. So we
Yes.
spend most of our time nurturing and guiding our kids.
Yes. Yes. I remember Marshall had mentioned in his early days the importance of core values you pretty much instill in himself and his brother. And that seems to be a guiding light or a guiding force over the years for him, within his career and so forth. Kind of, because a lot of times, in the entertainment industry, it's easy to kind of go astray, you know. But he has done well for himself over the years, and I guess a lot of time, those core values played a vital role in his career. Would you say?
It played the main role. Um,
Mm,
and this is what I tell people all the time. When people ask us, you all must be proud that your children, one is a captain with Caribbean Airlines and the other one is a big entertainer. I tell
mm,
them, well, that is not what we're proud of, really. What we're proud of is to see that the values that we have taught our children
yes.
as children is really manifested in them as men.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know and you can see the difference, and you can see that they have lived by those values,
Yes.
where education is important, sharing is important, integrity is important, honesty, hard work,
Mm,
and yeah, loving your own, all these things, and we see that in both Marshall and Marcus.
yes.
Marcus flies for his national airline. Marshall loves his people, he loves his culture, and he works really hard to make sure that things are right.
Yeah. 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 What's some of the biggest misconceptions that people have of the Montano family?
Well, one of the misconceptions is one that they think that I'm a momager,
Yeah.
or that I was a momager.
Yeah.
And I always say to people that I have never been a momager.
Yeah.
I am a mother and a manager.
Mm,
And I knew how to draw the line between the two roles,
yeah.
and Michelle also, so that when I am working for Michelle, or when I was working for Michelle, he's my boss.
Yes.
And
Yes.
when we're home, I'm his mother.
Mm, the
Our
book.
relationship is totally different.
Yeah.
Mother and son relationship to
Mm,
boss and employee, and I respect that.
yeah.
He has been an excellent boss, and he's a great son.
Wow. Wow. Well said. Well said. All right. So let's step back a time zone a little bit. So, at what point did you notice, like, you know what? Because I've heard the stories, but it's nice to talk to the source itself. At what point did you realize, like, hey, you know what? Marshall have a certain talent, a gift, and I think we should nurture this. What was that process like between yourself, your husband, Marshall, and I may even include Marcus as well. 'Cause I know he plays drum and the guitar. in those early days?
Well, it's in two parts.
Yeah.
From birth, I knew that Machel was here for a purpose
Mm.
because, as the story goes in my book King of Soca,
Yes.
Machel's birth was a miracle birth. He
Mm.
was supposed to have been born on the 16th of December,
Yeah.
but he was born on the 24th of November, three
Okay.
weeks before scheduled time,
Mm.
and he was expected to be stillborn.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
at the very last moment, after he was born without any pushing and any pains and any contractions,
Mm.
he came out and he didn't cry, no movements, nothing. And then my doctor, after about a minute or two, turned his back on me and started pumping oxygen, throwing
Mm.
ice water on his heart, and pumping out mucus, and
Yeah.
then slap him. And then he cried. He gave a very weak cry. And the
Mm.
doctor said, not good enough, not good enough. And then he repeated the whole process.
Process. Yeah.
And that's when he really, really cried. And
Mm.
then the doctor said to me, you have a boy, and he's not going to be sick one day. And
Mm.
that is when I knew that he was here for a purpose, because I had consoled myself that he was going to be stillborn.
Yeah.
But he's here 50 years after, doing his thing and really doing it, so that others could benefit.
Yes. 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 Wow. Um.
And then let me give you the second part now. The
Yeah.
second
Second part.
part was at age 5,
Yes.
when we moved to La Romaine. My
Mm.
biggest son, as a teacher, we believe that children should be engaged in extracurricular activities.
Yes.
So we got Marcus, who was playing guitar. He was in a music school led by Ashford Joseph. And he
Okay.
used to play the guitar, but Ashford wanted him to play the guitar and sing. And
Yeah.
Marcus couldn't play the guitar and sing. So he used to go to Machel, and
Right.
Machel will sing for him. But then Machel went a step further, and
Right.
he started to tape the sessions with his band,
Okay. Okay.
and he would set up tapes and everything,
That's
and
smart.
he will sing and Marcus will play the
Mm.
guitar. Next thing you know, Marshall set up Auntie K show. I don't know if you know about Auntie K show.
Yeah.
It was a
Everybody.
talent show on Sunday. He
So
was
wait.
the
Wait.
judge.
He
He
set
was
that
the
up
judge.
himself.
Yeah, he was the judge.
Wow.
He
Mm.
was the host,
Yeah.
and he was a contestant.
Okay.
And Marcus played the guitar and he sang. And
Mm.
then he would tape it and he would bring it to us. And he was 5. And then
Mm.
I said to my husband, I said, but this child has a good voice.
Yeah.
And then we took him to Ashford, and
Mm.
Ashford started training him.
Okay.
And then he started to sing in the choir. They asked him to sing solo. Then
Mm.
they asked him to represent the school. He asked Ashford to write him a calypso.
This was
And
a
then I
Superior Boys.
realized,
This was Superior Boys, right?
yes, Superior Boys.
Okay. Mm.
And in the choir, the Superior RC Church.
Okay.
And one thing led to the next. And then one day I said, I'm going to take him to Port of Spain after he had won all the competitions
Yeah.
in South. And
Mm.
I took him to the Junior Calypso Monarch when he was 9.
Yes.
And there he went professional.
All right. So much to ask. The letter, the song, the letter.
Yeah.
I was looking at that performance. How old was Marshall at that time?
He was 9,
9.
1984. He was in the business for 2 years.
2 years.
Started in 82 at
The
7.
reason why, the reason why I was zoning into this particular question because I watched the video, pretty much the making of the Soca King of Soca, sorry. And the level of first of all, back then those songs were long. I was just impressed the fact that he remember all those words. Was dance.
Me too. My husband also, because one of the things, even as big as Machel is,
Yeah.
Machel never will sit down and learn something. You will
Okay.
never see him sitting down learning. So we
Mm.
used to worry because this is 4 verses, 4 choruses, and very detailed,
Man.
And he wouldn't be sitting, we wouldn't know what's going on. And that day we were going to Port of Spain,
Yeah.
Monty was asking him, okay, first line, first verse,
Right.
first line, first
Mm.
chorus, and going on, and he's singing it.
Yeah.
So when we are sitting there in the audience,
Right.
fingers crossed,
Cross.
toes crossed, because you don't know what's going down.
Right.
And at 9, he sang it perfect. But I discovered that Machel's secret
Mm.
is really his brain. He's
Memory.
extremely bright. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, I was watching this video, and I don't want to exaggerate. It had to be at least over 10 minutes. I've been, watching, and I'm saying to myself, this guy is really a genius because
Yes,
to remember all those lines, and not only that, the dancing, because back then calypsonians had a certain motion on
yes,
stage, and the certain vibe, and he had all of that at such a young age, and that's not
yes,
a easy thing for a grown folk to do, to
yes.
remember all the lines and dance and all those things. So I definitely want to ask that, kind of piggyback
So
on that.
that's it. That's it. The
Yeah.
brain.
So at that young age, what was it like? Back then, of course, there was nothing like a calypsonian or anybody that young in the music space. What was it like trying to shop Marshall, like to these record shops, and I don't know, back then there was record labels, but giving people a opportunity to really invest in Marshall at such a young age.
Well, there are two ways. The first one was that we didn't have to shop him
Hmm.
for live performances,
Yeah,
because after that performance where he won the Junior Calypso Monarch in 1984,
yeah.
one day a gentleman came from New York,
Mm.
and he came to Superior Boys House looking for the little boy
Uh,
who won the thing, right?
yeah.
And he found Machel, and he said that he came to take Machel to Madison Square Garden
Wow.
to sing in the Mother's Day show with Sparrow, Kitchener, Shadow,
Mm.
right? And we
Great.
said, okay, and we took him. And if you see my book, the cover of my book is that picture with
Yes.
Sparrow, Kitchener, and Shadow lifting him up at
Mm.
9 years of age. And he sang as a support act to these real heavyweights at 9 in Madison Square Garden. And then he went on to Paris that same year on
Yeah.
tour with Nelson, so that it was major, you know, and we were very excited from that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're definitely gonna get into the book. Um, in May 19, the my research, May 19, 1984, you guys came up with Panasonic Express, right?
Prana.
Oh, Prana. Sorry,
Yes, because
Panasonic.
we lived in a development called Prana, Prana.
Okay,
Then Marshall
Panasonic.
had a stereo set, but
Mm,
where you called the Panasonic, but
yeah.
he really adjusted it to suit where he lived. So the
Okay.
Panasonic Express.
Okay. So that was the miss note there. Okay. Panasonic
Well, a
Express.
lot of people don't know the story behind it,
Hmm.
and prana means a breath of life.
Ah.
We
Okay.
lived, yes, there. And on May
Mm,
1984, when he came back from Madison Square Garden,
yeah.
he said, I have to start my own band.
Okay.
And then he and his brother started the band.
Mm.
Yeah,
What was
yeah.
the process like putting the band together at such a young age?
Well, they did because we always had a lot of children in
Yeah.
our house,
Mm,
and they got friends together like Farmer Nappy,
yeah.
Vince Rivers, Joey Rivers, and we got these people. And I was at the time a
Mm,
guidance officer,
okay.
and some of my students like Rachel Fortune, Peter
Mm,
C. Lewis, Farmer Nappy,
yeah.
all these were kids who I was guidance officer to them in Superior Junior and Senior Comprehensive, so
Okay.
that the kids from the village and they came together and did their own thing.
Yeah.
And the Rivers brothers, Vincent and Joey, they had experience in music. And
Mm,
when Marshall had it naturally, and they came together, then Marcus was playing guitar, and a
mm,
lot of them were playing quattro and everything, and they came together and made
okay.
it and did it for themselves. Marcus was managing. He used to get birthday parties. We would
Yeah.
play in the village. Yeah, and then 85, we went on a tour, a school
Yeah.
tour. Yeah.
Okay. So, what was the transition between Panasonic and Ecstatic?
So that took place in 1989.
Okay.
Um, we thought, well, we have always been like progressive people. So
Yeah.
we thought that we wanted to move them from kids into teenagers And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things we believed in is a name change. And
Yeah.
when you change your name, it could either do good for you or it could do negative for you. So we thought
Right.
of something progressive.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband, Monty, came up with the name ecstatic from the word ecstasy. And
Mm.
ecstatic in music means a musical rapture, right?
Okay.
But we didn't spell it like that.
Yeah.
We spell
X.
Xtatik, which was an acronym.
Yes.
The X was from Express,
Mhm.
Panasonic Express. So that
Okay.
was the X. And the Tatik was Trinidad and Tobago International Kings.
Wow.
So
I never knew that.
yes, that's it. Yes. So it was an acronym and
Mm-hmm.
it had a deep meaning. Yeah.
Well, now that you mentioned acronyms, you guys are very thoughtful when it comes to marketing. And of course, over the years, the transition from and bear with me if I'm messing up the sequence. So after Ecstatic was Marshall, that was
HD.
HD, and then the Monk period.
Yeah.
What does I know Monk is an acronym,
Yes.
and if you could please, you know, if you could please, 'cause I don't want to mess it up. If you could please tell us what the acronym for Monk.
Right. Monk has two stages of development. This
Hmm.
was 2015. Um, and Marshall thought of Monk as movement of new knowledge,
Mm.
right? Because now he was gaining, and I will go back after this and tell you about HD.
Okay.
So it was coming out of HD again, and he wanted to do, he's very evolutionary.
Yeah.
And he was saying movement of new knowledge, gaining new knowledge. And
Mm.
he wanted to mix the past with the present and with technology. So therefore, he said, okay, movement of new knowledge. But
Mm.
then in 2019, he said, but wait, no knowledge is new. Knowledge is always there,
Yeah.
right? So he changed it to me now, movement of now knowing. When you
Mm.
now get to know, or you just became conscious or
Yeah.
aware of that knowledge. So the first part was movement of new knowledge, and with his evolution, it went to movement of now knowing.
Now knowing.
And we go back now to HD.
Hmm.
HD was, when they came out with high definition.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it was very strategic because that was the time that the world was going HD.
Yeah.
But it wasn't well known. People were not really aware of it. They were now coming with HD TV.
Yeah.
He decided that he wanted to move from acoustic to
Mm.
digital, right? So therefore, he wanted to move to a more technological kind of approach, and
Yes.
he wanted to give people a clearer message of
Mm.
who he is and what he does.
Mm.
And he said that he's going to make himself the first high definition person. And he
Wow.
did that in 2007 to 2014. And then that is when he went on to that next, when he started to get very deep into his spiritual development. He
Yes.
went to the monk. So he's a kind of, double or turn there.
Yeah. Yeah. The progression. Wow.
Yes.
Um. Over the years, I know you have actually studied this. So over the years, Marshall has done a lot of collaborations, have been able to blend or merge soca, if that's the right word to use, into different genres. I remember you have mentioned this in the past. That was something that you actually looked into and see if it could actually work. And Marshall have been very successful in doing, yeah, pretty much taking soca to a whole different level. I don't think there's any other soca artists that have actually did as much experiment when it comes to soca with different genres. How that whole process came about.
Well, first, again, it came about when Marshall was a Calypsonian, because that is how he started,
Yeah,
right? So from very young, he was singing in the tent,
yeah,
right? He was singing in Spectacular. So
mm,
when he went there, he would ask Monty and I, where are my peers?
Yeah.
right? You know, we had Natasha Wilson and sing too, but where my peers? You're not seeing any young people
Mm-hmm.
in the tent. You're
Yeah.
not seeing young people come into the tent. It's old people, and he always used to say with the cane and the three-piece suit, and all the Calypsonians were older people, and
Yeah.
where are his friends? So we took him to where his friends were, and that was in upper level in the nightclub.
Oh man.
When he went there, people were lip syncing um third
This,
edition or first edition or
yeah.
all these young these foreign people, you
Yeah.
know, or they were doing reggae and dub and everything, but they were not doing calypso.
Mm.
So then he said, okay, I am going to go there and sing my calypso. And he started singing the calypso. And the young people there would walk off and go to the bar when he was singing,
Yeah.
and they even went so far as singing hymns when he was performing. Like you know, they will start to sing Amazing Grace.
Uh,
Yes, Amazing Grace. And so he observed
wow.
what they like. You
Yeah.
know, they like the hip hop and they like the reggae and the thing. And then he said, okay. And the idea came up where he will sing the reggae, sing what they like, and then splice in his song. So
Mm.
he started with a song called I the Dancer, I the Prancer, and everybody watching him. But then from the time he realized they getting a little bored, he will switch back to the reggae. And
Okay.
then he decided he would experiment. So
Mm.
he started to mix it with the different genres. And then it went on to even a further stage when we had the Bajan invasion
Yes.
in
Yes.
1996.
Mm.
And he said he didn't fret because the Bajans were getting all the work. They were bringing them here, paying them all the money, and he didn't fret. He
Yeah.
said, we have to make this better.
Yeah.
And then he took them to New York. We were signed to Delicious Vinyl at the time.
Yeah.
And he had an apartment there and he took the whole band. And they decided they are going to experiment and bring a new song and make it different
Yeah.
so that the young people would like it. And
Mm.
this is when we did the Heavy Duty album
Yeah.
with Big Truck.
Yep.
And
Yep.
this is when we changed the face of soca because he
Mm.
slowed down the pace in the middle of the song. He
Yeah.
used a Hawaiian guitar and then he went back up. And then from that, he went on. He brought Shaggy, he brought, you know, everybody, and it just went on. So this year now, he has a song called Fling It Up
Yeah.
that he's working with Davido, which he's gone into Africa.
Yes. Yes.
Last year,
Mm.
last year he went to Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
and he carried some of the young producers and writers from here,
Yeah.
and they spent some time in Nigeria and they did some writing. And
Mm.
then this is the first one that we have released with Davido. He
Yes.
also went to India, knowing that soca is African and Indian, and
Mm.
he performed for millions there with Sadhguru. So
Yes.
he is the one who has been doing the changes, the experimenting, and the observations. And Monty and I have only been his support.
Well,
And well, now he has a management team
yeah.
that works with him round the clock.
Yeah. Well, you have the best. You have the best seat in the house. You know. You've seen everything from
Yeah, well, you know
conception
what
to
I call myself? You know what I call myself now?
what's that?
I'm not the manager, I'm the drone.
The drone. You oversee everything.
I'm hovering.
You hovering. You hovering. You hovering. Nice. Nice. All right. Let's jump into the book. So I know over the years, and this is something I was so impressed. I'm not even surprised, but I'm so impressed. I guess with background as an educator, you pretty much kept, as Marshall would say, you like the hoarder. You pretty much kept every single article, picture, in what have you over those 40 plus years.
43 years,
Yeah,
43 years.
and you were able to compile this um into a book from pretty much start to present. What was that process like?
Well, first to begin, as I said, I have an archive, the
Mm,
Machel's collection from 1982 to
mm,
present.
yeah.
And it involved everything. I have from the diaper to the
Wow.
matador costume.
Mm.
I have his music. I have his lyrics.
Well,
I have everything.
Mom, let me pause you real quick because some people might know what a diaper is. You know, what I mean? Like diaper, they might think it's like the diaper from when he was a baby. It's a diaper from the performance.
From the
Oh,
performance,
too young
yes,
to
the
cook, right?
performance in 1986
Yeah.
when he beat some big Calypsonians.
Yes. 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 Mm.
He was 11.
11 at the time. Okay.
Yes, yes. So then after that I kept it, and we have now 4 eras of 4 decades of things that I kept, music, videos, all the newspaper articles,
Mm.
everything. And at each stage, it was a stage, a different development
Yes.
stage. And I thought that when I was doing my thesis was based on Machel and
Yeah.
based on the book. The book is an adaptation.
Mm.
I looked at him the early years. I look at him as the whiner boy. I
Yeah.
looked at him as HD. And
Yeah.
then I looked at him as Monk Monty.
Mm.
And then what does the future hold?
Yeah.
And the book came about like that. I did it. I adapted it in 2020
Mm-hmm.
and published it in 2022. So the
Fantastic.
process was very easy
Yeah.
because I had all the information there. I had everything in my head. But then I did my research and I interviewed a lot of the people who worked with him and collaborated with him over the years at
Yeah.
every different era,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very successful. It wasn't the transition from thesis to book wasn't hard. And then I had the free time,
Yeah. Yeah.
those 2 years during
Yeah.
so it was easy.
Where can folks get the book? Where's the book available?
Well, you can get it online with www.machelmontano.com. Once you go on Machel Montano on the shop,
Yeah.
and you can get it in Trinidad and Tobago in all the bookstores.
Yes.
And then sometimes I've been traveling around
Mm-hmm.
launching the book.
Yes.
And wherever I go, I sell the book, we launch it, and we invite people to come.
Yes.
And you can also get it from us
Mm-hmm.
because now that Machel is 50, I did a deluxe edition
Yes.
where we put it in a gold case
Yep.
looking like a vinyl, and Machel had it autographed,
Yes.
and you can put it on your coffee table,
Yep.
or you can hold it on your shoulder with
Yeah.
with a handle, with a strap. And I have been moving around, and it has been doing well, and I continue to do it because I really want to share the message.
Yeah.
Because it's a message, and the message is you start from nothing. Because as you asked me in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
nobody wanted to support or to produce a child or
Yeah.
a boy from the country.
Yeah.
But fortunately for Monty and I, we were professionals.
Mm-hmm.
So we used our own money. Like Monty took money from the credit union and used his savings to
Wow.
produce in 1985 his first album, Too
Yeah.
Young to Soca.
Wow.
I walked the streets to sell Machel's album from all the books, not the record stores.
Yeah.
I walked the radio stations. I never asked why they were not playing his music because I know that you have to, walk your path. You have to take your time. You have to
Yep.
pay your dues.
Mm-hmm.
And Machel was dealing with Sparrow, Kitchener, David Rudder, and
Yeah.
all these big boys,
Yeah.
and we respected them. And what
Mm-hmm.
I said is, let your work talk for you. Don't go begging or complaining. You work, and once you do it, so that when he arrived in 1986 in Spectacular, it
Yep.
was all over.
It's all over.
Yes.
Wow. What a story. I'm gonna transcend into your entrepreneurship side of you and the family. We're gonna talk about the Montano's chocolate.
Yes.
Um 60% dark chocolate. How you got into the chocolate business?
Well, again, as I say, we are always doing creative things.
Mm.
So in 2012, we were doing Machel Monday.
Yes.
And the theme at the time was based on love, one nation, love, right?
Mm-hmm.
Love Nation. And my friend Jillian Goddard, well, she wasn't my friend then.
Yeah.
She came to us because we had a store in the airport,
Yes. Yes.
the M store. And she wanted us to buy her chocolate, her local chocolate, to
Yeah.
sell at our store. And we did buy it. But then that Machel Monday was falling very close to Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said to him and to Jillian, why don't we do a chocolate?
Yeah.
And she made a chocolate for us. Happy Nation was the name of the chocolate.
Okay.
And we sold it at Machel Monday.
Mm.
And then it took off.
Yeah.
So we made the chocolate, a Machel Montano chocolate. So we sold it now. She made it for us, and we sold it at our store, and we started selling it at different places in Trinidad.
Yeah.
And it went on, and again with evolution, we started to change the name, change the look.
Yeah.
And eventually, and this is a family business,
Yes.
three generations, right?
Hmm.
And we started making it ourselves in 2018. We formed a company,
Okay.
and then during the pandemic, we started training people, youths of the area, especially young women. We
Yeah.
started training them to make it. And my big son Marcus
Hmm.
is in charge of the factory.
Okay.
Marcel is the brand ambassador,
Yes.
and I used to be there, or I am there
Hmm.
with Marcus running it, and it's three generations.
Wow.
It's Michelle and Marcus, Monty and I, and then we have their wives, and then we have our grands. And it has moved now into where we went a little further, and we
Yes.
have invested in rehabilitating the cocoa industry. So we bought ourselves a cocoa estate in Talbaro.
Wow.
And we work in that, and the 60% dark chocolate means 60% of the cocoa, and you have 40% of sugar. We don't have any additives, no no additives, no emulsifiers, nothing, no preservatives. All just those three simple properties. And
Mm.
we also do cocoa butter and
Okay.
cocoa powder. Yeah. And now, as I say, with our factory, we now have our own estate.
Wow. Wow. Very impressive. Yeah, I'm gonna be in Trinidad this year, so I'm definitely gonna come down and participate in some of these cocoa. I'm a big cocoa fan, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
very nice.
yes, I get my hand on that book as well. The Machel Montano House of Soca. This is a museum of sorts. So, what's the direction with that project?
Our house of Soka, that is in Siparia.
Yes.
Well, that is a little part of our, right? We have a museum,
Mm.
and I'll give you the development of that also. Remember,
Yes.
I said I keep the archives. So
Yes.
we have a museum or an archive, and we have an archivist or a curator who
Mm.
is going to update all our information, and we have it digital. And what we did for Siparia Deltones now, Siparia Deltones Spaniard
Yes.
is one of these Spaniard models. So in there, they started having, remember Siparia has a lot of stars and icons.
Yes. A
So
lot
they
of legends
start,
came out of Superior.
yes, so they started with it's kind of like a museum they want to do for Daisy Voisin, Famanapi, and a lot of other people. But
Mm.
we had all this stuff already. So the House of Soca houses some of Machel's items from his main museum. So
Okay.
that when people go down there, or when they have any special events, they put
Yeah.
up that thing for them to see, And so that exists there. Then right now, I am here in my office.
Okay.
Right? I work through the Christmas holiday. We
Yeah.
are setting up an area to house the archive, because Machel's collection was just inscribed by UNESCO.
Okay. Nice.
And one of these things that it must be accessible to the public. So
Yes.
we are making it, putting it in a space where people could come, because there have been a lot of students, young and old, who want to study Machel, and they want to get to the information. So
Mm.
now they would be able to come and research it themselves in
Yes.
this spot from January, February this year.
Wow. That's nice. Great idea. Great idea. Great concept.
Yeah, you have to preserve your heritage, and
Hmm.
I think is one of these things that not many of us do, because I think that someone told us that we were the first or the only like Caribbean entertainer. It could be not so, but I was told so that has been inscribed, because this year they took I think 37 people have been inscribed. One from Trinidad and Tobago, and that's Machel's collection.
Yes.
One from Jamaica, and the rest from the Spanish or the
Yeah.
Latin America countries.
Mhm. Wow. Wow. Well done. I would tell you, well done. Well done, Miss Montano. Well done. So,
Thank
Miss
you.
Montano, this year you'll be turning 75.
Yes.
Milestone.
Three-quarter of a century.
When you look back at those, that's 75 years, how does it feel to accomplish so much? And looking forward and beyond 75, what's some of your plans moving forward?
Well, my plans now is all about succession and
Mm.
transition. So I am really preparing and make sure that everything is in order, so that when I transition, there's going to be just seamless. It's going to be seamless. And
Yes.
also succession by trying to teach the younger ones to well, I don't know, I want to say to be like me. And
Well,
not
who the
only my family, not only my family or my kids or my grandkids. I have great people working for me,
Yes.
and I'm teaching them and trying to show them, that you need to be humble. You have to work hard, and sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone in order to achieve and what greatness means. We came from very poor beginnings, both my husband and I, and we raised our children, and we were young people during the Black Power.
Yes.
Yeah, my husband and I met in 69, and the Black Power was in 70, and we
Mm.
made our children in 72 and 74.
Yes.
Taught them how to love your own, how to become educated, how to work hard, how to do so with integrity, all coming out of the Black Power movement.
Mm.
So, and then, as I said, I had a very easy life because, again, I lived a simple, humble life, working hard and always focus on family and focus on giving. You know,
Yes.
it, I feel, I feel very good, excellent when I could help someone, even if it is somebody say, lady, I need to get a ticket to go to Tobago, and
Yes.
if I could help them do that and succeed, I feel good.
Yes. Yes.
I never do anything for money. Like when Marshall tell me, I will fire you. I say, you can't fire me, never hire me, you don't pay me. So I've lived a good life, and I've lived simple, I've lived good. Um, I don't, I'm not extravagant in anything. I never drank, I never smoke. I believe in natural medicines, so.
Natural. Two more questions. You mentioned you live a natural life. I know you big into health.
I lost him. Hello?
I got
Yes, I'm here. I'm here
yeah, I got
again.
I got you.
Okay.
It's fine. I'll don't worry about that. I'll edit that part.
Okay.
um. So one of the things to also notice, you're very big into health. What
Yeah.
I know you don't eat meat. You don't eat fish. So you're vegan?
I eat fish
Oh,
because
you eat
I
fish?
have to.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but because of my age,
Hmm.
for omega-3s and for protein,
Hmm.
I have to, but I eat it, very limited.
Okay.
But then I exercise, I have my therapist, I run, I walk,
Okay.
yeah. And
Mm,
I always check in on how I'm going. Yeah.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So this is the final question. So on your Instagram, what do you do your own social media? You do.
My own, yes.
Yeah, very impressive. Very impressive. All
Oh
right.
gosh.
Yeah,
Because
very
you know,
impressive.
Machel always say,
Yeah.
and Machel taught me, Machel taught me about this technology.
Yes.
And he said, go ask all your old people, boy. And I say, but I'm doing real good for
Ah,
75
you're doing
pound
good, man.
lady.
You're
And,
doing
you
good.
know, and I must say that
Yeah.
he has been my teacher in terms of, you know, of everything that I do that is social media.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you're doing very, very well. So there's a statement on your Instagram that says there's there's nothing better than being real.
Exactly.
So I wanted to kind of elaborate on what that means to you.
One, first to begin, I believe in being natural,
Yeah.
which is real. I wear no makeup. I have natural hair. People ask me if this is my hair. It's all my hair. It's very long. You know, I do nothing to add, you know, and real means what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
You know, I don't pretend. Um, I am also, people will say things about me. It doesn't worry me because I know who I am.
Yes.
And I teach my children and I teach all those who come into contact or work for me that let them talk. I say, but you must know your truth. And whatever they say, you must let it run off like water on a duck's back. Or like
Mm,
Marshall will say, is like rain on a dashing bush.
yeah.
You know? So I have lived that and I live simple. You know,
Yeah.
I don't let anything worry me. People tell me I have the blood pressure of a young person.
Mm,
You know, my mother taught me that you know, when I go to bed and I rest my head, I could rest my head and be comfortable because I know that I can't avoid anything that is going to happen in the morning. I can't stop it. So
yes.
why worry? Why worry? And I live by this that God give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Yes.
And I'm real. What you see is what you get. I don't have to put on anything. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, that's too bad for you. I
Of
have
course.
even one, you know, but I have a better one.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's fit for thing. I tell them, I say, God didn't give me everything. You know, whatever He gave me, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
You know, and I make it do. And that's it.
That's
Simple,
it.
simple
Simple.
and humble
Simple and
and
humble. Humble.
thankful.
Humble like alarm.
I'm humble like a lamb. And I'm good. Nothing worries me. As long as I could do something,
Hmm.
I'm going to do it and I'm going to succeed.
Well
And if
said.
I don't, what miss you, I pass you.
Yep. Yep. That's a classic. What Miss the past. I still see it up to today.
Yes.
Well, Miss Montano, highly appreciated. Thank you. Thank you so much. Much
You're most
success.
welcome.
Continued success. And all the best 2025 and beyond.
Thank
And
you.
you know, that's it.
And continue to support my King of Soca to
Hmm.
read of a young black boy who
Mm.
became successful through hard work and core values.
Yes.
Thank you.
Give thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Elizabeth Romaine Montano.
And
Thank
you
you.
can go longer. Elizabeth, Lena, Susan, Romaine, Montano.
Wow, wow. Thank you thank you so much.
You're
All
most
right.
welcome and all the best to you and your audience for 2025. Let's keep it safe and let's keep it simple and humble.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
All right.
Bye.